Hello, hello, hello. What's up? Welcome back to my channel. This is Shanna Christmas. I know it's been so long. I am a stand-up comedian and occupational therapy assistant, and I have all kinds of things and opinions and stuff to share. So it's been a while. Let's get right into it. The Riyahd? I've been calling it the Riyahd Comedy Festival this whole time, by the way. But that festival just ended last Thursday, and it had a lot of controversy. A lot of people's comedy heroes took the bag to go do comedy for Prince Bonesaw, and lots of people have been asking my opinion, and by lots of people I mean nobody, but we all know this is what we have to do, right? If you guys don't know, the Riyadh Comedy Festival, it was in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has a history of human rights violations. They just start letting women drive. A couple of years ago, Jamal Khashoggi was literally bone sawed to death and put in a suitcase for speaking up against Saudi Arabia's barbaric treatment of people. So it's not a great place. So to see some of these comedy greats go over there and do a comedy festival kind of had people mad. And I understand it. And as a comedian, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I've done shows in America for, Trump supporters, and I don't feel like those people deserve laughter. But if they're paying, I'll take their money. So I understand why they would go to Saudi Arabia. Now, granted, those people in the Republicans, the MAGA people, they haven't beheaded anyone that I know of. They are hanging people, though. There are lots of black people being hung yet again. But we can't tie it to the government just yet. I think, in all seriousness, I think it is disappointing, but it's not surprising. We'll just say that. That is the theme. It's not surprising, and people will make excuses for why they do it, and say, America does bad things too. And it's like, yes, but if Donald Trump asked me to do his inaugural ball like Snoop Dogg, I would say no to that, because that's not what I'm here to do. So it's kind of the equivalent I put in my mind about that festival in Saudi Arabia. Now, if some I don't know, tall ladies with big asses community of Saudi Arabia was trying to book me for a show, then obviously I would go and do a show for those people. But to have the government fly me out and whore myself out and get my chest pooped on, is that Saudi Arabia or is that Dubai? Whatever. For some cash, I don't know. I think that's just a bridge too far for me. And I think also it's like, trying to have morals and being a good person, it's just not working. I think a lot of the comedians, or a lot of people, I've been a good person my whole life and I still have to go to work every day. So it didn't work out. There are people that don't do anything nice and they figured out how to make money and, grift off of rage baiting on Twitter or Instagram or whatever they do to make money. Really bad podcasts with bad things they say about immigrants. People are finding ways to thrive. It doesn't require you to go to work and be a good person. So, maybe these comedians are like, you know what, being an upstanding citizen and trying to stay on the straight and narrow is not putting enough money in my pockets. So I'll just do this one festival and never have to talk to you poors ever again. So I totally get it. There were some stories about a few comedians that were feeling regretful for doing the festival and got some backlash from their fans. I'll show you this article here from the Hollywood Reporter. It talks about a few of them. I don't know how to do double screen on this. This is my first time doing a pre-recorded thing, and I haven't really figured out the kinks. So as long as you can hear me, we'll figure it out. But this one says, does the controversy over the Riyadh Comedy Festival actually matter? So it says, comics were roasted and dragged for performing at the event, and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's abominable human rights record saw some daylight. But both ultimately walked off as winners. And look at that. Everybody's laughing at us at home being poor and broke. Look at that lady. It's a lady, right? She has a man and I don't, so I'm going to keep scrolling. But yes, some people, Aziz Ansari, Jessica Kirsten, who is a Jewish lesbian woman, performed, and when she got the backlash, she simply said, "I want to donate my money." You'll see here, donate her money to a human rights campaign. But it turns out that they can't accept money from a government like that. So I guess she gets to keep the money, which kind of feels like she wanted to keep it anyway. That is one way to get out of it. It's like, oh, I'm going to donate my money to this program. And the program's like, we cannot accept this money. And they're like, oh, well, I guess hey guys, I tried. I tried my best to get rid of this money, the stain, the shame that I brought upon myself. Um, yeah, 2 weeks, wealthy Islamic State's history. They had 50 comedians. Some were celebrities, some were, celebrities' friends. I actually learned that quite a few people that I know were there too. They rode with Dave Chappelle. Quite a few of them were there, and they didn't really enjoy the backlash either. And like, you guys don't understand. It's like, yeah, well, I mean, I understand why you did it. You need the money, but anyways, let's see. Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, Louis C.K. Now, Louis C.K., they can keep him. I'm okay with him going over there. Kevin Hart, Winnie Cummings, Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson got a lot of backlash too because the Saudis killed his dad in 9/11, but okay. Hannibal Buress was there. See, I didn't even know that Hannibal was there. So, he kind of maybe just skated through there. Um, they said it was nice. You know, Bill Burr said people had fun and he doesn't care if you guys don't like it, even though he's been talking about billionaires and being evil and stuff, and then he just took a bunch of their money. So it's kind of, I don't know. Okay, let me read this paragraph here. It says, much of the derision was coming from the performers' contemporaries, some of whom had rejected the invite on moral and political grounds, but many who were not actually invited to perform. All of the critics seemed to take exception to the idea of performing at an event held in a nation so associated with 9/11 attacks, or by the same absolute monarchy whose restrictions and political and civil liberties are notorious, having won it the dubious honor of one of the worst in Freedom House's annual survey of political and civil rights consistently over many years. Yes, I did see this. Atsuko, I, I can't pronounce her last name. You know Atsuko. She's got the bowl cut. She's so cute. But they invited her. They tried to double the money. She rejected it. She was like, no. And they all had to sign this paperwork that agrees to censorship, saying no topics included. You can't talk about the Saudi legal system or the royal family or the government. Um, of course, Mark Maron and all. Mark Maron spoke against it. And surprisingly, I'm going to come back so you can see my face. Um, the thing that surprised me most about the people who didn't do it is Shane Gillis. I met Shane Gillis in New York before all the controversy. Very smart man. I believe he's from the South somewhere. I don't know. We spoke a little bit at a show we did. He seemed like a nice person, and all of a sudden, this SNL thing happened, and the racist Chinese thing he did on a podcast, and he got fired, and he got hired, and now everything, and then he moved to Austin and became part of the Rogan sphere, the manosphere, and I thought that was like the most surprising rejection of all of it because it is interesting to see how some of these people kind of fall into this right wing stuff because right wing people can sometimes be stupid. And so I could understand why, he kind of fell into that when he got fired for being racist. So you kind of end up having an audience that's like, yeah, we don't care if you're racist. We love it here. And then you realize you guys are not good people. So the fact that Shane Gillis saw that and was like, hey, man, I might hang out with MAGA people, but I'm not going over there and doing that. You know what I mean? I thought that was actually kind of funny that he has better morals than like Bill Burr did in this situation. Still a funny guy, and that's fine too. And happy for him or whatever. Hey, Shane. Um, but yeah, the backlash people are getting is well deserved, and I think a comedian Jay Jordan said this on Cracked or something like that. He was on where he's like, you know, if you're gonna do this kind of stuff, we are going to make fun of you. So don't be upset. Now, why is this not working? Don't be upset if we if we make fun of you, because yeah, we gonna make fun of you because you did something that, you know, you speak so much about comedians or the, I forget, the baroness, I don't know the words, orbiters, I don't know, the poets, the people that are supposed to stand up for free speech and stick it to the man, and we can't let the comedians fall victim to being bought out like the Live Golf Tournament and the other things they put money behind, the F1. So Saudi's putting their hand in a lot of stuff, and you can't expect athletes to have higher morals than comedians, even though comedians are quite awful people on their own. But they pretend to have the moral high ground, and that's where I think they are held to a higher standard than, say, I don't know, some person that plays golf. I don't care about golf; it's kind of boring. But my whole opinion on that is, I wasn't invited. I'm not that funny, I guess, and I wouldn't have gone either. To be honest, I don't know how they treat black people over there. I don't see enough. I don't know. I, I'm always worried about the black people where I'm at and how the chicken tastes. You know, that was racist. Anyway, all in all, some people faced, harsh criticism from the fans and didn't realize how much backlash they would get. And especially if you are a minority, you do have a different kind of audience. Or like if your audience is more mainstream and white, you can kind of get away with more stuff because there's so many kinds of white people. But if you're like if like again if you have like really tall black ladies in your audience and you go to some festival that's like, I don't know, mean to tall black ladies, but they're paying you, you're gonna run out of people to support you. So I think you do have to be careful about that, and you do have to answer to those people. They have built your career, and then you go over there and kind of spit in their face for the bag. Especially if you don't need the money. That's the other thing too. Like, I get it if some of these up and coming people went over there for the experience and took the money, but if you are a big name, Kevin Hart don't need that money. You have to go over there. Dave didn't need that money. Like, I don't know. And to make it sound like they're doing it because those people deserve comedy too. It's like, that's not why you went. Because you would have gone before that. I don't know. Anyways, this is my first time doing this on this thing. And my screen got stuck. And that's okay. Here we go. Look, now it's back. Let's see. One more time. One more. Let me see if I can do this one more time. Here we go. Yay. Um, oh, Louis C.K. fessed up about his mixed feelings. Shut up. You already went. Um, I'm still not a fan of him. He's a creep, and I don't do well with that. Anyways, so that's the general consensus. Some people were upset about it. Some people weren't. A lot of comedians had opinions on it, and I had to add mine to the mix. And there you have it. I wasn't invited, like I'm not invited to many things, but I don't think I would have gone to something like that. Hell, I let me tell you something. I have been asked to do shows for um charities that help dogs, and I have said no because I don't like dogs. I mean, I don't like dogs. Like, if a dog is well behaved and is not humping me or biting me or licking me or getting my clothes dirty, I'm fine with the dog. This y'all unruly dogs, your untrained dogs, your dogs in the bed. No, 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 no. I don't like that. So I don't want to raise money for them. So I just said no. Am I a bad person for that? No. Do you think I am? I don't care. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm not Dave Chappelle. All right. I'll catch you guys next time with my other opinion. Maybe I'll talk about Drake next time. Everybody else is. We'll see what happens. I'm Shanna Christmas. Christmas. Be sure to subscribe if you're still here. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.